أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. صباحكم الله بالخير. أستأذنكم أتحدث باللغة الإنجليزية اليوم. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to this session. I'd like to start by thanking the organizers for inviting me to be with you here today in the beautiful city and ever-evolving city of Riyadh, and to talk about mud to modernity, buildings that think, cities that learn, and people that live. We're primarily here today to talk about PropTech and how it's reshaping construction, sustainability, logistics, and digitalization, redefining how the world builds and manages assets. With a global property that exceeds $200 trillion, yet PropTech's share is only emerging, projected to reach $132 billion over the next couple of years. Investments, however, in PropTech tripled, despite the broader VC slowdowns, and with AI, we're only expected to see massive accelerations in this sector. The Saudi story is no different, of course, with a thriving and future property market mirroring how the kingdom embraced digitization and financial technologies, as we've heard in many of the opening remarks here today. Homeownership had already surpassed Vision 2030's targets with the amazing work led by His Excellency, the Minister and his team. But our journey in PropTech isn't just about technology. It's about transformation, and every nation has a story of transformation. Ours began in mud. To the beautiful city of Riyadh, with cutting-edge technology all around, to the focus on livability, with the amazing sports boulevard that actually crosses right behind my house, where my kids were riding their bikes yesterday as I was preparing these slides, and back to the mud that shaped our earliest homes. This is a story of how we build and how we become. Our journey from modernity follows autonomous built environments in 4 layers: physical innovation, digital innovation, environmental and resilient systems, human experience, and governance. So I'll start with physical innovation, starting with an innovation that transforms waste into sustainable buildings, with building materials, reducing cost of carbon, and allowing resource reuse, achieving green construction, and supporting PropTech in alignment with Saudi Vision 2030. By turning waste from date seeds and coffee husks into powerful, sustainable concrete with 40% higher compressive strength compared to conventional concrete, and 25% lower production cost when using local feedstocks, and most importantly, 70% water savings during curing due to internal moisture retention. To experimenting with simple ideas by developing Saudi-made eco-friendly coatings that reduce surface heat and glare to improve thermal comfort and road safety in extreme environments, showing a 15-degree reduction in surface temperature compared to untreated asphalt, tested for 2 years in our campus, with a 60% reduction in glare, allowing for improved pedestrian and driver visibility, with high durability and crack resistance under harsh climate conditions. Advancing to other techniques with preserving Saudi heritage, implementing advanced materials, transforming multi-traditional layers of mud that are constructed down to a single layer with high-performance coatings, implemented in a Dir'iyah project. After testing over 400 samples and 25 prototypes and more than 12 field visits to demonstrate scalability and reliability, we've obtained successful results while maintaining the same look and feel of Dir'iyah's cultural buildings, with 70% reduction in maintenance costs and 80% cost savings in large-scale projects, while being 83% faster to apply. And when moving to the interior of the homes, we've looked at great opportunities to transform over 2 million tons of palm waste annually into high-value engineered wood, Saudi-made, sustainable alternatives to imported conventional wood that had succeeded over 60 mechanical and physical tests and is protected by 2 patents and currently licensed to scale, potentially addressing a $1.5 billion Saudi's wood market. But not everything we do is based on recycling alone. We also look at basic science and innovation in materials. We looked at how to include carbon nanotubes to revolutionize the region's concrete industry, showing potential reductions of 15 to 20% in cement use and 65% faster processing, enabling stronger, lighter, and more sustainable materials that can target currently a $7 billion carbon nanotube market, projected to exceed $30 billion by 2032. But sometimes we have to revisit building processes themselves and find ways to innovate, and our team has done that by revolutionizing housing industry and delivery systems through advanced modular construction and Industry 4.0 automation, with capacity to produce 12 to 15 villas per day that come 85% finished in the factory, while reducing the cost by roughly 23% compared to conventional construction. This opens up numerous activities for innovation where we can start implementing modular housing design within housing complexes. And moving to digital intelligence, there are numerous opportunities that can be harnessed using artificial intelligence and satellite imagery to automatically detect, classify, and monitor changes in urban environmental landscapes through deep learning models, delivering insights on infrastructure, vegetation, and land use, enabling proactive, data-driven decision-making, empowering national entities with real-time, data-driven insights to shape the future for smart, sustainable cities, delivering analytical results 10 times faster while saving roughly 65% of resource from monitoring. This can also allow us to reconstruct 3D platforms of neighborhoods, allowing for various applications where we've seen a number of startups building on such technologies. And when complemented with laser scanning, we can perform 3D reconstruction of buildings and built environments, allowing for better management and procedures with the realistic digital twins and accurate replicas that can be used for urban planning, infrastructure management, and environmental monitoring, transforming raw imagery into powerful digital tools for decision makers. These models are the foundation of Saudi Arabia's next generation of smart cities, enabling real-time simulation, sustainable tracking, and improved quality of life under Vision 2030, especially when we look at projects in areas such as the holy mosques, where we're currently developing very advanced digital twins that guide in the expansion projects. And all of this data, and as we've seen in the opening remarks from many of the different types of platforms, can be used in a way where it can offer interactive conversational maps for users, such as what we are using today as ChatGPT, combining urban planning metrics with socioeconomic development analysis. It enables us to understand the user dynamics of the city and explore opportunities where strategic support for decision makers can be made smarter and faster. And if we look at environmental resistant systems, our AI-enhanced urban water management and flood mitigation systems focuses on addressing Riyadh's rising groundwater levels and flood risks through advanced modeling and sustainable water practices. Using the storm water management model, the project simulates urban hydrology and elevates rainwater harvesting potential for both household and neighborhood scale. This can reduce dependence on desalinated water and allow for water reuse from rainwater fall by up to 15% annually. And if we look at urban quality of life in a dashboard, we look at strategic digital platforms that measure and enhance the city livability for Saudi Arabia and different cities in the kingdom by integrating AI analytics, geospatial data, and historical indicators in a dashboard that looks at performance of over 80 indicators from 9 key urban domains, such as health, mobility, environment, housing, community engagement. It visualizes trends, identifies improvement areas, and provides actionable insights to support evidence-based urban planning, ensuring sustainable growth and higher quality of life, with improvements to city management efficiency and reductions of costs by up to 30%. And finally, if we look at the human experience and governance, we work in collaboration with the World Economic Forum through the Center of the Fourth Industrial Revolution as a do tank that looks at how we can apply policies and improve regulations with an innovation-friendly pro mindset, as we've seen today in the tour that we had outside, many of the regulatory sandboxes that the government is implementing is allowing for adoption of early technologies that we really don't know how can be implemented and how they can disrupt the market. So centers like this produces white papers that enable the government leaders to produce the kind of policies that are needed to integrate such kind of technologies while bringing together industry, academia, and the public sector all in one place to implement these technologies and test them through regulatory environments. One such regulatory sandbox and accelerator for startups is the Garage at Caxt, where I've selected a number of the companies that we have that are focused on PropTech. We've graduated over 660 companies in the past couple of years with a combined valuation that exceeded $2 billion. But these 4 companies in particular, Anmar, which we've seen outside, which is an autonomous property management and leasing company that looks at streamlining tenant and landlord interaction. Optimal PV, a great idea that came out using satellite images initially, represents the convergence between prop tech and energy tech, transforming rooftops in houses and the facades of buildings from passive assets into power generators. Build Hop, which tackles construction, procurement challenges through a digital B2B platform that improves efficiency and transparency. And last but not least, Ijari, which I've also was happy to see outside in the exhibition, bridges fintech and proptech to enable secure, seamless, and compliant rental transactions. These startups, with the startups we've seen outside and the massive momentum that's happening in this market, exemplify Saudi innovation. So we invite you all, innovators, investors from around the kingdom, from around the world, to join us in Saudi Arabia and in Cax to live your future. Thank you, everyone.